Hi, you're with India Post Live, India's first online news conversation web TV. I'm Ishan Russell, and India Post Live is, of course, a forum for you to come and participate. Yes, you can use social media to get in touch with us and get your views aired. You can use Twitter, hashtag India Post Live to your tweets, or use our Twitter handle at India Post Live. You can use Facebook. We have a Facebook page called India Post Live. Go there, like it, comment over there. Also, you can go to indiapostlive.com. You can watch this video live as we're streaming right now, or you can even view it later. And in case you're viewing it later, there are other videos for you to check out as well on related subjects and unrelated subjects, but feel free to comment. There's a wall for you to comment upon, and also in case you want to participate, be the expert or ask the experts a question, you're most welcome to do so. Just use Skype or Google Hangouts, send us a participation request, and we'll for sure get your views in. Alright, the subject that we're talking about today is a controversy that was raked up after a visit to Pakistan. A journalist by the name of Vaidik met Hafiz Saeed, the Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief. Now, in India, that has raised a lot of controversy. Was it just a simple visit? Well, the opposition in parliament yesterday said that it really wasn't, and it was a part of a track to diplomacy. Mr. Vaidik has been associated with Baba Ramdev and Vivekananda International Trust, which have been associated with the BJP and the RSS. So in that sense, a lot of allegations and counter allegations are going. Also, the limits of journalism, because Mr. Vaidik says he's just a journalist who went and met Hafiz Saeed. So are we creating too much about it? Well, we'll be talking about all that with Mr. Shivraj Singh. He's the Chief National Secretary of the, Chief General Secretary of the Rashtriya Lok Samta Party, an NDA ally. Thank you very much for coming in, sir. We also have with us Shahnawaz Malik. He's a reporter with Navbharat Times, and Shahnawaz is, of course, has the unique distinction of being really targeted on social media because he tried to line up an interview with Hafiz Saeed and had to face a lot of brickbats. So you'll be talking about that experience with us. We're also joined by Vineet Goenka, national co-convener of the BJP IT cell from Mumbai. Thanks very much for coming in, Vineet. And Yasin Malik is expected to join us. He's, of course, the chairman of the Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front. And Sanjeev Singh, consultant editor over here at India Post Live, is here with us as well. But Shahnawaz, I'll start with you. Just take us through your experience in terms of you trying to interview Hafiz Saeed and what you had to face.
Well, ये लास्ट ईयर जून की बात है कि जब मैं ट्विटर पर पब्लिकली हाफिज सईद से बात करने की कोशिश कर रहा था उनके ट्विटर हैंडल पे और जमात-उद-दावा के ट्विटर हैंडल पे, और उसके कुछ महीनों के बाद कुछ लोगों की नज़र पड़ गई जो राइट विंग के लोग थे, और उन्होंने बिल्कुल हंगामा क्रिएट कर दिया कि कैसे कोई हाफिज सईद से बात कर सकता है। और फिर मेरे लिए गालियाँ थी, मुझे थ्रेट्स थे, मेरी फैमिली के लिए गालियाँ थी, और आज मैं ट्विटर पे या सोशल मीडिया में मैं एज अ टेररिस्ट अभी भी एग्जिस्ट कर रहा हूँ। पाकिस्तानी और ISI एजेंट सारी चीज़ें वहाँ पे।
Alright, so you faced a lot of controversy. What has Mr. Vaidik been facing? Well, let's take you through a little bit of a story first.
This picture gave away the story. In this, veteran Indian journalist Ved Pratap Vaidik is seen with Pakistani terrorist Mohammad Hafiz Saeed. Saeed is the mastermind behind the 26/11 Mumbai terror strikes. Since Vaidik is close to the BJP and its supporter Baba Ramdev, this meeting is not being taken at its face value. The opposition has alleged that Vaidik's mission was cleared by the Modi government. BJP is defending Vaidik, saying he is a journalist and can meet anyone, while Modi government is mum on this. Ironically, the same leaders were protesting when Kashmiri separatist Yasin Malik was sitting with Saeed in a public protest in Rawalpindi. Does it not expose BJP's double standards?
Alright, so does the BJP have double standards about who meets Hafiz Saeed and who doesn't meet Hafiz Saeed? Vineet Goenka, explain to us, I mean, as far as Mr. Vaidik is concerned, and also the Vivekananda International Trust, he's quite closely associated with it. That trust has given us the principal secretary to the Prime Minister, the National Security Advisor is also associated with that. So, I mean, you can't deny Mr. Vaidik's association with the right-wing groups.
See, I don't know whether he is associated with Vivekananda Institute, because what I understand is he is not a regular there. He has not been invited to speak there. Yes, the institute has given a lot of good people like Ajit Dhowal and others to the current government. And as far as Mr. Vaidik's going to Pakistan and meeting the terrorists is concerned, I think as a journalist he has a right to go there and do it. If he has done this as an individual capacity, or he is trying to represent himself as a non-journalist, then it is wrong.
All right, so the BJP is saying that that really isn't the case. Or Shahnawaz, you've been
विनीत मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ कि मैं भी जर्नलिस्ट हूँ और लास्ट ईयर मैंने हाफिज सईद का इंटरव्यू करने की कोशिश की थी, तो आप ही की पार्टी के लोग, आप ही के वेलविशर्स ने मेरा जीना हराम कर दिया था कि मुझे अपना सोशल मीडिया का जो अकाउंट था वो डीएक्टिवेट करके भागना पड़ा था इनफैक्ट। तो ये डबल स्टैंडर्ड क्यों है? एज ए जर्नलिस्ट वैदिक को राइट है, लेकिन एज ए जर्नलिस्ट शाहनवाज मलिक को राइट नहीं है।
नहीं, शाहनवाज मलिक तो बहुत ही इंटेलिजेंट और बहुत ही शार्प जर्नलिस्ट है, उनकी बहुत रिस्पेक्ट भी करते हैं और आपकी रिस्पेक्ट तो मैं खुद भी करता हूँ। आई कीप यू द वेरी हाईएस्ट स्टैंडर्ड। और हमारे पार्टी का कभी ऐसा ऑफिशियल स्टैंड नहीं रहा कि कोई जर्नलिस्ट जाके टेररिस्ट को नहीं मिले। व्यूज लोगों ने प्रभाकरण का भी व्यू लिया है, लोगों ने और भी राइट विंगर्स का भी व्यू लिया है। इस प्रोग्राम में भी मेरे ख्याल से यासीन मलिक साहब को बनाने की कोशिश की जा रही है, जिसके साथ में मैं वाकिफ नहीं रखता हूँ, ना ही उनके व्यूज के साथ में वाकिफ रखता हूँ। एज अ जर्नलिस्ट एवरीबडी इज राइट टू हैव द अदर साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी ऑल्सो, बट आई थिंक प्रोबेबली कुछ एंथुजियास्ट अगर आपको अपोज किया होगा तो वो एक इंडिविजुअल उनका पैमाना है, उनका इंडिविजुअल तरीका है। बट पार्टी का स्टैंड बहुत क्लियर है कि कोई भी जर्नलिस्ट अदर साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी पढ़ सकता है, अदर साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी के लिए लोगों से मिल सकता है, बट ही कैनॉट रिप्रेजेंट और मिस रिप्रेजेंट द कंट्री, ही कैनॉट स्पीक एनीथिंग व्हिच इज अगेंस्ट द कंट्री।
विनीत, अगर लास्ट टाइम जब मेरे साथ ये हादसा हुआ था, अगर आपकी पार्टी ने एक स्टेटमेंट दिया होता कि नहीं एज ए जर्नलिस्ट शाहनवाज मलिक को राइट है, तो जो 10,000 शेयर्स हुए थे मेरी फोटोग्राफ्स, वो हो सकता है कि लोग शांत हो जाते और फिर मैं अपना काम कर पाता। जो मेरा प्रोजेक्ट था वो मैंने बंद कर दिया वहीं पे।
नहीं शाहनवाज भाई, मुझे इसके बारे में जानकारी नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी एक तरह से अच्छा हो गया, आप फेमस हो गए इस तरह से ले लीजिए। बट
वो मैं अपने काम के लिए फेमस हूँ।
To be on the formal side, let me tell you very honestly, पार्टी का स्टैंड बहुत ही क्लियर है। जर्नलिस्ट अदर साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी को पढ़ सकता है, अदर साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी के लिए वो वहां से बात कर सकता है। We should respect this. This has been happening always in the world. We have seen people going and taking interviews of Osama bin Laden, Prabhakaran or Yasir Arafat as such. But we do have a concern if somebody is trying to represent a particular institute or a particular organization within the party, within the organization.
So Mr. Vaidik has nothing to do with the BJP.
Mr. Vaidik has nothing to do with BJP or our parent this thing or Sangha party. Sangha, or there was no second track or third track diplomacy with Pakistan or any terrorist organization by the government.
All right, Sanjeev, I want to get you in on this because the opposition certainly is saying that that is not the case. That this is, I mean, how would you view this?
Well, see, I mean, there are double standards, no doubt about it. You have an example sitting in front of you in the form of Shahnawaz. I mean, if his name was something else, maybe, you know, Ram Singh or something, perhaps they wouldn't have targeted him like that. But that's the stark reality, and we have to live with it. The other thing that I want to bring in is that there's no harm in doing an interview, but you know, it's very easy for the government to say that he's a journalist and he was doing his own thing. But were you know, the intelligence agencies informed that he's going to do this interview? What if something had gone wrong and, you know, things had gone out of hand? Then who would have been responsible? So was the protocol followed as far as, you know, journalism is concerned when this meeting took place between Hafiz Saeed and Mr. Vaidik? That is the most important thing, whether these rules were followed or not.
All right, but Sanjeev, are there any rules for a journalist at the end of the day? I mean, if you travel to Pakistan, you would also want to interview everybody, trying to get in as many varied perspectives.
No, but you see, I mean, you have to keep your, you know, Indian counterparts in the loop to a certain extent. We know that there was a big delegation that went. A lot of former ministers and ministers of the UPA regime were also a part of it. But you know, Mr. Vaidik had an extended stay, and after that, we've seen that the new government says we have nothing to do with it. Mr. Vaidik says he went as a journalist. So you know, you just can't be you know, a solo Viking going on an interview spree. And what if let's say, you know, someone in the middle had just intercepted and kept him as hostage? Then what do you do then?
All right, so I mean, there is really no clear explanation, or as far as the blame game is expected, it's expected to continue. But Shivraj sir,
Ishan,
yeah.
Can I answer?
I just want to get Vineet, because Shivraj Singh has been sitting quietly listening to us talk, so I just wanted to get a perspective from him, and I'll let you respond to Sanjeev. But Shivraj, as far as the lines are concerned, in this case, it's certainly a little blurred because Mr. Vaidik, I mean, Mr. Baba Ramdev, he's been closely associated with him. We know the kind of the line that is being followed over here, the line that Mr. Vaidik toes. So, what would you make of it? Ultimately, the responsibility does come to the NDA. I mean, they're in power.
There are two things very clear. Mr. Vaidik, as it has been said in the House by Mr. Jaitley, the Honorable Finance Minister, and also by Ms. Sushma Swaraj, the Honorable External Affairs Minister, that Mr. Vaidik has nothing to do with BJP, one. Mr. Vaidik has nothing to do with the government, two. Now, whether he goes to Pakistan as an aide of Baba Ramdev or whether he goes there as a journalist, it is up to him. And obviously, a journalist can interview people from any stream and even people who are outlawed. But on the take of Congress, Mr. Anand Sharma, I saw, he was saying he is a BJP man. Now, who will decide whether he is a BJP man or not? BJP is saying that he is not part of BJP, he is not part of the government. Then how is Mr. Anand Sharma concluding that he is part of the BJP? So anything wrong which happens, they want to push it to the BJP and the government. Where was Mr. Anand Sharma when Mr. Digvijay Singh was pouring all praises and praiseful adjectives for Osama bin Laden, Osama ji and all that? What was that happening? When he had all the praises for Osama bin Laden, they had nothing to say. And now they are saying that he is part of BJP. Who will decide one is part of BJP? If he has any proof that he is part of BJP or the government has sent him, he can come out. But we know that he was not sent by the government. Rather, he was with lots of the leader of the opposition leaders. I mean, the Congress, most of the Congress party leaders were there with Salman Khurshid. So might be that Salman Khurshid or somebody might have propped Mr. Vaidik to go and meet Hafiz Saeed. Who knows? So because they have, they were in the government for so long, so they might have some connection with Hafiz Saeed, and might be that Congress party must have said that you go and meet Mr. Hafiz Saeed, we will take care of you, or something like that might have happened.
All right, so Mr. Vaidik could be a pawn in the. I'll let you respond. Vineet, you wanted to say something before Shahnawaz comes in, yeah.
Yeah, Sanjeev said that had Shahnawaz's name been Ram Singh or something like that, how would have been reacted? Let me just remind Sanjeev, we have Shahnawaz Hussain, we have Najma Heptullah ji, we have Mukhtar Abwar Nevi, we have appointed Abdul Kalam ji.
At the end of the day, but still no ticket to a Muslim also, na Vineet?
Please do not try to tell us that we are indifferent to this. We have nothing to do with names. Probably my party is more secular than any so-called secular party of this thing, in which we have proved to the world. As far as I'm concerned, if somebody would have really hurt Nawaz Malik ji by writing against him when it was not called for, I should say that it was a wrong thing to be done. I still stand by my statement saying that what Mr. Vaidik did as a journalist has to be approved. What he would have done as an individual, then it would have been a concern. He also raised one more point, saying that had he been taken hostage in this kind of situation, or something would have happened. Naturally, when you have somebody going and meeting a terrorist on the other side of the line, there are situations where the journalist falls into situations which are uncomfortable for. We all would have then seen that what the External Affairs Ministry would have seen. So that would have been a scene where we would have responded accordingly. So let's not build up bridges which has not been called for.
All right, Shahnawaz, you wanted to comment.
मुझे इनके स्टेटमेंट में एक बात कहनी है कि अगर सलमान खुर्शीद के कनेक्शंस थे हाफिज सईद से और उन्होंने डील कराई, मीटिंग कराई, तो आज तो वैदिक साहब कहीं के भी नहीं रहे। आज कांग्रेस कह रही है,
I am not saying that that is
कह रही है कि वैदिक को अरेस्ट करो, और बीजेपी कह रही है कि उनके वैदिक से कोई रिश्ते नहीं है, अब वैदिक क्या करे?
I can vouch that he has no.
And I just for our viewers, Mr. Vaidik, we did try to get in touch with him. We did invite him for the show, but he's been unresponsive, and media reports as well. He's been like that. He's not really giving out interviews. He's a little bit in between a rock and a hard place. Yes, go ahead.
I was saying that I don't say that it must have been, but there is a strong possibility that Mr. Salman Khurshid might have told Vaidik that you go and meet, you are our people, and we'll see to it what happens, and we'll rake up this issue. Something like that might have happened, you cannot rule out. such a possibility. I just say that. I don't say this happened, but this can happen because you know that Congress party is very.
All right, but Sanjeev wants to come in, and Sanjeev's interacted with Salman Khurshid pretty closely.
Creating all this kind of mischiefs.
Sanjeev, is there mischief being created by the Congress party?
Well, I mean, if I go by what Shivaji is saying, then what was the need? I mean, if Salman Khurshid had so much clout, he could have easily asked Hafiz Saeed to come to India and surrender. That could have been a much easier way of solving this whole issue and then sorting it out.
Okay.
But
no, I didn't say he has clout. He has He might have some connection. I said he doesn't have. No, Hafiz Saeed will not listen to anybody.
And the other point that I want to clarify is that Digvijay Singh's statement on Osama bin Laden was, portrayed out of context as far as the media is concerned. He was actually making fun of the whole situation when he said Osama ji and all, but that's a different issue. But, despite what Vineet is saying and what Shivraji is saying, the fact remains that, even though they may not want this to happen, but there is a certain color when it comes to, issues like this. If it was someone from the minority community, perhaps, the whole dynamics would be different. But that's why we see, that's the whole issue. Somewhere down the line, Vineet and Shivraji have to accept that there is that, color that divides both sides, and that has to be worked upon. We can wish it away, but it's not going to go away. So all of us will get together and sort of, work on this thing that we have sort of a, fabric where we don't differentiate between the two.
Right, Vineet, at the end of the event, Yasin Malik shared the dais with Hafiz Saeed. There were major protests over here. I mean, Shahnawaz is another example of a journalist simply trying to interview. But as far as Mr. Vaidik is concerned, social media has been pretty quiet in that sense. So there is a little bit of a dichotomy there, isn't it?
See, journalist has always been seen as to be a person who's trying to check a pulse. So when he goes and meets somebody, he's trying to check the pulse, he's trying to see the other side of the story. And as far as Mr. Yasin Malik goes, he's a separatist. He has views which are known to people. He is the reason of the unrest right now in Kashmir. He is the reason of so many people being killed in Kashmir. We denounce him. His meeting to Mr. Saeed in February 2013 was uncalled for. It was reasons because he wanted to take help from him. Two terrorists trying to meet each other to make sure that the country is suffering. So don't try to equate these two. These are two different things. These are very dangerous. My small request to the panel here is whether we may agree to certain things or not. But let us remember, we cannot harm the motherland. We cannot harm the fabric of the society. People like Yasin Malik have to be condemned with all the words which are available in our dictionary. These are the people who are damaging the country, damaging the fabric. And as far as Sanjeev Bhai goes in the religion or the faith, I doubt that ever Bharatiya Janata Party had this thing. We do not differentiate on the basis of gender, sex, religion, faith, caste, community. We believe in Samabhav. That's the whole call what the Prime Minister has gone. He has said Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. We do not believe into any kind of differentiation or any kind of belief that which will separate these two people. एक मुझे बहुत जूनी शायरी याद आई है. ये relevant तो नहीं है, लेकिन शायद थोड़ा सा आपके जवाब के लिए होगा. कि एक ही राह है, एक ही मंजिल, एक ही मीर, एक कारवां है. ये जमीन अपनी है, हिंदुस्तान अपना है. ये सभी लोग अपने हैं. Sanjeev bhai, there is no different people. There cannot be Hindu and Muslim when we talk about a journalist or we talk about a terrorist. There is no religion. Journalist has no religion.
तो विनीत, आपकी पार्टी को ये स्टैंड, ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, आपकी पार्टी को स्टैंड क्लियर करना चाहिए. कोई भी जर्नलिस्ट है, किसी का भी इंटरव्यू कर सकता है, ये उसका राइट है. अगर ये चीजें बिल्कुल क्लियर हो जाएं तो जो बहुत सारे साइबर लुम्पेंस हैं सोशल मीडिया में, वो फिर किसी शाहनवाज मलिक को टारगेट नहीं करेंगे.
बिल्कुल नहीं करेंगे.
ये जैसे वेद प्रताप वैदिक के मामले में आपकी पार्टी भी पल्ला झाड़ रही है कि उनका बीजेपी से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. अगर वो एक और स्टेटमेंट दे दे कि कोई भी जर्नलिस्ट कर सकता है, जैसे कि आप अभी बोल रहे हैं, तो चीजें बहुत क्लियर हो जाएंगी. हम जैसे लोगों के लिए बहुत सहूलियत हो जाएगी.
अगर आपने देखा होगा तो हमारे स्पोक्स पर्सन और हमारे नेता यही करे कि जर्नलिस्टिक जो एक्टिविटी होती है, जिसके पीछे कोई भी तरह का मिसकंसेप्ट नहीं होता, वो सही होता है. और अगर आप कहें तो मैं भी जो ऑफिशियल कह रहा हूँ, दैट इज ऑल्सो वन वे ऑफ स्पीकिंग. So I'm trying to make that clear that a journalist has a right, be it with Shahnawaz Malik, Vineet Goenka, Ishan, or anybody else. The religion does not have any kind of role in this.
All right, fair enough. But let's also get in a voice from across the border because the controversies even spilled over there as well. Amir Mughal sent us a video response in from Pakistan. Let's listen in.
Arranging meeting between jingoists and warmongers on both sides is a good thing for long-lasting peace, provided that the media on both sides restrained themselves before alleging anything wrong towards each other for long-lasting peace. Conveniently, it was for Vaidik to meet Hafiz Muhammad Saeed, against whom India propagate 24/7. I was wondering, would it be possible for India and Pakistan to arrange such meetings with those who agree with each other in India and Pakistan? I mean, more and more people to people directly.
All right, so is this just people-to-people contact, or is this tractive diplomacy? That is the question, or is it just plain simple journalism? Questions perhaps Mr. Vaidik can answer himself, but he's remaining mum on the issue, and I mean, he's really has no support coming in on this.
I would like to come in here. Track 2 diplomacy has some boundaries. So terrorists and terrorism cannot be dealt on the platform of or by the people who are active on track 2 diplomacy. Track 2 diplomacy is for, you know, soft issues. Such hard issues cannot be dealt by track 2 diplomacy, and dealing with terrorists cannot be the part of track 2 diplomacy. It is beyond the mandate of track 2 diplomacy. Let me culture can be part of it, literature can be part of it.
No, but why not? At the end of the day, is violence the answer? Is, I mean,
anything.
How would you stop a Hafiz Saeed? Would you rather reason with him, or would you rather fight with him?
Track 2 diplomacy also has some norms. So track 2 diplomacy is not meant for dealing with issues like terrorism. That is what I want to say.
शिवराज जी, साहिर ने एक बहुत अच्छी नज़्म लिखी है, उसकी 2 लाइनें ये हैं कि जंग किसी मसले का क्या हल होगी, जंग खुद में एक मसला है ना?
हाँ, वो ठीक है, that's
तो
right, but as
जो
far as track 2 diplomacy is
चाहते हैं कि बात नहीं हो हाफिज से,
नहीं बात बिल्कुल हो, बात बिल्कुल हो, बट वो एक्सपर्ट्स के साथ हो. वो ट्रैक 2 डिप्लोमेसी में कोई पता लगा कोई स्कॉलर पहुंच गया, कोई पोएट पहुंच गया, वो हाफिज सईद से क्या बात करेगा? So my only point is that to deal with Hafiz Saeed and to deal with terrorists, it is beyond the capacity to deal with them. It is beyond the capacity and mandate of track 2 diplomacy. That is only thing I want to say. Yes, as a journalist one can go and interview, that's right. But as a journalist one can, but track 2 diplomacy का ये mandate.
All right, we'll come to that. I just want to read out a few tweets because tweets have been pouring in. This is certainly a hot issue, and just let's read out a few of your responses that have come in. In fact, not your responses, but Hafiz Saeed himself has written that Dr. Vaidik asked if we would protest Modi's visit to Pakistan, on which I have replied, we don't participate in such politics and protests. Jagan Nivas Iyer says Ramdev defense of Vaidik meeting a designated Islamic terrorist and mastermind of 2611 is atrocious to say the least. All right, so obviously the terms that are often used in political parlance now on social media are used to say that in unison, if Vaidik met as a journal, which channel is it for? Not each meeting of journal has becomes published views. So we'll put those out, but Shahnawaz, you were making a point, and you can read the rest. Kanchan Gupta, in fact, said that okay, Vaidik scales the ladder further, compares himself to Dharmraj Registra and Bhishma Pitama. He needs a doctor and a straight jacket. So, I mean, this is the right-wing groups. I mean, what Shahnawaz, you've been saying that they have also said that Mr. Vaidik's not done the right thing.
हाँ, लेकिन जो एग्रेशन मेरे साथ था, जो ये कह रहे थे कि हम पुलिस में जा रहे हैं, और इनफैक्ट इन्होंने भेज दिया था इंटेलिजेंस को मेरी फोटोग्राफ्स, मेरे ट्वीट्स, और इस हादसे के बाद कल जब मुझे पता चला कि शो में आना है तो मैं उन पुरानी चीज़ों को तलाशने लगा कि मेरे साथ क्या क्या हुआ था. कल मैंने जाके देखा कि मुझे कहीं सिमी का टेररिस्ट लिखा गया है, कहीं पे हाफिज सईद का एड लिखा गया है. अब मैं जो उसके साथ कल मतलब मैं बहुत ज़्यादा हताश था कि अगर सोशल मीडिया में कोई शाहनवाज मलिक सर्च करता है तो उसको ये सारी चीज़ें मिलेंगी, जो कि मेरे लिए बहुत ही ख़तरनाक है. तो ये तो वैदिक के साथ तो नहीं हो रहा है. इनफैक्ट ये हमारे सामने विनय साहब हैं, ये कह रहे हैं कि एज ए जर्नलिस्ट वो जा सकते हैं, लेकिन मेरे साथ तो नहीं हुआ ऐसा.
All right, but as far as social media is concerned, Vineet, and you were really part of one of the main people who ran the social media campaign for the Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
But
so, as far as social media is concerned, is it the nature of the beast that I mean, people can be easily targeted, and there are certainly groups out there who indulge in such practices. So, should social media regulation be an option? I mean, in such a case.
Not be curtailed. We should not use any regulations against social media as such, which will harm the entire community there. There may be instances where journalists like Shahnawaz Malik would be addressed. But Shahnawaz Saab, what you had written probably that was condemned, not an individual was condemned. If there was an incident where an individual was condemned, then the writer has gone beyond the brief. I think the handle or the page which has written that has done in the individual capacity, which can be condemned, and I can officially also condemn that. So let me tell you once again that social media has people who react either on behalf of a party or the institution, or also individually. And many times individually go beyond what the brief is. So you don't have to be bugged out by that. And this will not tear up.
All right,
let me also tell you one thing. Like Shahnawaz said, that they were more fire against him compared to the fire against Ved Pratap Vaidik, as we saw Kanchan Gupta. But I don't say right or wrong, but if Mr. Vaidik had also said what he was saying about Indian Army, let me assure you that Mr. Vaidik would have faced much more tougher times. He had said that Indian Army is not secular. Let Mr. Vaidik say this and let him face the brunt.
All right, all right.
And in that case, I'll also tell you,
we have another guest joining in. Mr. Yasin Malik is on the phone line with us.
In that case, I might be defending Shahnawaz, but there would be nobody to defend Vaidik. If he says that Indian Army is not secular, I might defend him, but there would be nobody to defend.
All right, but I want to stick to the Vaidik issue right now, what Shahnawaz said in past, and I want to go across to Yasin Malik. He's joining us on the phone line. Thank you very much, Mr. Malik, for coming in. And you've obviously heard of this entire controversy being raised about Mr. Ved Prakash Vaidik meeting Hafiz Saeed, and you faced a similar situation when you participated in a protest. So what do you make of this entire controversy?
I'm not against a meeting because I know it very well. He met him as a part of the track to diplomacy. He did not, yes, he went there as a journalist, but under the garb of journalist, he was doing a track to diplomacy on the part of the government because he has been a member of, he was presently a national security advisor. He was one of the member of his think tank also. So, tract is true is already going on between India and Pakistan before the election, especially between the BJP and the Pakistan. So BJP has a double standard policy when they are in opposition. They will oppose everything. And when I was in the non-violent protest in Pakistan, they came on the streets. My passport has been revoked. I was sent to prison. I was arrested for almost 2.5 months at my home. So even on the dialogue process also, it was the BJP headed by Atal Bihari Vajpayee who initiated dialogue process with Pakistan, who initiated dialogue process with Kashmir, who initiated a dialogue process with the militant outfit Hizbul Mujahideen. Now, after that, another party came into power. They did not allow them to do anything. They were always on the street. They did not allow them to have a dialogue with Pakistan. They did not allow them to have a dialogue with the Srinagar. So this has been a policy of the BJP, RSS right from the beginning. So now I think BJP and RSS needs to change this thinking of double standard, thinking of fascism. It is purely a fascism because when you are in the government, you have a different stand. When you are in the opposition, you are totally opposing all those issues, the issues which you have taken initiative by yourself, you have on the dialogue and on meeting the people. So BJP needs to clarify their position. What is their position on these issues?
All
will
right.
they repeat the same if the another party will came in the power?
Mr. Malik, we have in fact BJP representatives on the phone, on line over here. All right, so let's put that to the BJP representative Vineet Goenka is here with us. Vineet wanted to respond. Go ahead, Vineet.
आवाज अब तक आ रही है क्या?
जी.
Malik Saab.
Yes, he can hear you. Go ahead.
मलिक साहब, मादरे वतन के बारे में हमारा जो विचार है बहुत क्लियर है. एक याद रखिएगा, ये हिंदुस्तान एक है, कभी नहीं टूटेगा. आपका कितना भी विचार इसके बारे में होगा, हम जरा भी नहीं हिलेंगे. हमारी पोजीशन बहुत ही क्लियर है. 1948 की पोजीशन वैसे की वैसे ही रहेगी. We will also get the POK back. So please be very clear that we will not at all tolerate any separations or any kind of divisive politics.
No, but he's saying, Vineet, at the end of the day, you're doing.
Let me complete, Ishan. The protest which we do will continue even if a brother of mine speaks about this country. If my real brother speaks something against this country or this motherland, we will protest against him. And we will also protest people like Yashin Malik because they separate our brothers. They try to influence violence in the society. So he has no right.
No, but as far as Yassin Malik's allegation that you have a different stand when you're in opposition and when you're in government, it certainly changes.
Our stands, याशीन भाई और ईशान भाई दोनों याद रखिए, हमारा स्टैंड सेम है. मलिक साहब, मैं फिर आज भी 89 में जिस तरह से मैंने कश्मीर के आंदोलन किया था, मेरा आज भी कहना है कि कश्मीर हमारा इंटीग्रल पार्ट है और हम इसके अंदर किसी की भी बात नहीं सुनेंगे.
But that's not the issue. The issue is if somebody goes out and meets somebody. Yassin Malik says that as far as track to diplomacy is concerned, the softer diplomacy is concerned, when somebody else from other than the BJP meets a figure like Hafiz Saeed, the BJP goes all hammer and tongs at them and gets them arrested or targets them on social media. But when somebody who is a little bit of a sympathizer of the BJP goes ahead and meets such a figure, it's not really the case, and this has happened in the past during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government is concerned. Yeah, go ahead, Vineet.
See, I still say there is no track 2 or track 3 diplomacy which is involved. He met as an individual journalist. Had Malik Saab, Yassin Malik been a journalist, we would not have even talked about it. Yassin Malik went there to take help to create divisions in the Kashmiri society. His intentions were challenged and intentions are not good.
All right,
and as far as I'm concerned, we do protest on what Yassin Malik does because he should come out and say कि भारत माता की जय एक बार क्यों नहीं बोल सकते? हिंदुस्तान में रहते हैं, हिंदुस्तान ने right दिया इनको.
All right, Mr. Malik, please respond. We'll allow Mr. Malik because
मादरे वतन हमारा है, आपका है, आप क्यों उससे दूर जाते हैं?
All right, Mr. Malik, please respond. Mr. Malik, please respond.
I want to respond to what earlier Mr. Yassin Malik has said.
All right, let's just Mr. Malik, can you hear us?
I am hearing you, but I am not hearing that person. Can you tell me what he said?
All right, what he's saying is, as far as nationalism is concerned, he's saying that you're not a nationalist and therefore...
He's a separatist, he's not a nationalist.
Yeah, and the fact remains that as far as meetings are concerned, what you did was completely separate from a journalist going and meeting Hafiz Saeed. So as far as the treatment meted out to you is concerned was well-deserved. Mr. Malik, I would request you to just speak into the phone, please. We can't hear you very well.
Of the BJP government. Now, my another question. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
My question is very simple. That BJP government engaged Hizbul Mujahideen in dialogue process. It is not it came openly in the press. They met their commanders. So, tell me one thing, why they have a different standard and different stand when they are in government and when they are in opposition, they are opposing all those initiatives. What is the problem with the BJP?
No, there is no problem with the BJP. It is problem of your perception. Let me be clear. BJP and NDA is very clear on the issue of terrorism. We will be very tough. We will not be like Congress.
So why you talk to Hizbul Mujahideen?
No, we will talk.
Then?
We will
why
talk.
You talk to Hizbul Mujahideen?
There is no problem in talking. There is no problem in talking.
No, but he's saying that when you're in opposition, then you have a problem with anybody else talking.
No. We have what Mr. Modi said was very clear.
Much honestly,
we can talk, but not
BJP is being exposed on these issues now.
No, BJP is not exposed. You are exposed. Let me tell you, Mr. Modi said clearly, we are not opposed to talks.
One by one.
It is the different responsibilities.
Mr. Modi said clearly, we are not opposed to talks, but we are not. We do not want talks amid fires, amid bullets, amid gunshots, amid violence. So we will talk when there, if you want to talk.
So Baba Ramdev should not be sending an aid or to Pakistan.
Let Baba Ramdev do anything.
I mean, see, ultimately, Mr. Baba Ramdev has been supporting your campaign.
No.
He's shared the dais with Mr. Modi.
But Mr. Vaidik is not going there as an emissary of the government. He is saying he is going there as a journalist. So as a journalist, whether he should go or not, you know that there is no law to ban Mr. Vaidik going there as a journalist. But yes, Mr. Yasin Malik, he knows, he cannot deny, he knows, we know he's a separatist. So we will not allow a separatist to meet a terrorist to accentuate the violence in the country, to accentuate terrorism in the country. We are not going to allow that. We are very clear on Kashmir. We will solve this problem of Kashmir. We will solve the mindset of people like Yasin Malik.
बड़ी अजीब सी बात है कि आप इस इशू को इतना डाइल्यूट कर रहे हैं. ये सेपरेटिस्ट हैं यासीन मलिक साहब, मैं तो नहीं हूँ, लेकिन ये जो आइडेंटिटी की पॉलिटिक्स होती है कि अगर ये जाते हैं हाफिज सईद से मिलने के लिए या मैं हाफिज सईद का इंटरव्यू करना चाहता हूँ तो हम दोनों के साथ सेम ट्रीटमेंट होता है जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ आवर नेम. ये यासीन मलिक है, हम शाहनवाज मलिक हैं.
आपको किसी ने अरेस्ट कर लिया?
मुझे अरेस्ट नहीं किया, लेकिन उससे कम भी नहीं किया मेरे साथ, उससे ज्यादा नुकसान किया.
If I go out from here, somebody starts pressing me. So government is not responsible.
ये सेपरेटिस्ट है, ये बात नहीं कर सकते, सिर्फ नेशनलिस्ट बात कर सकते
हैं. No, not nationalist. I am saying the government talking to the government
we'll just come to everything.
The government, because government talking to Hizbul Muzahideen or with different actors of Pakistan to bring peace in the nation, to bring international peace is all right. But we will not give that mandate to separatists like Yasin Malik. That's clear.
All right, and I don't think Mr. Yasin Malik also does not want that mandate. He has his own ideology, he has his own belief system, and we as a democracy should allow that ideology or that belief system to exist as long as it is peaceful. No, as long as it is peaceful.
Separatism is not allowed in the constitution.
As long as it is peaceful, sir, as long as anything is peaceful, everybody in this country has a right to say or do anything. As long as it is peaceful, it is not resorting to violence.
Secession is not allowed in this country. The constitution doesn't allow secession.
Vinit, you wanted
we will
to
come with strong hand. Secession is, tomorrow if you say, I want to create a different country peacefully, we will not allow that.
Why not?
No, constitution does not. You then go, you do not know, you read the constitution.
All right, fair enough. I will go ahead and do my research, but Vinit, you wanted to come and go ahead.
If you are secessionist, you will be dealt with tough hand.
साहब ने एक बात कही, शाहनवाज मलिक साहब, आपने कहा कि आपका और यासिन मलिक साहब का एक पंथ होने के कारण, एक रिलीजन होने के कारण शायद एक ट्रीटमेंट आपको मिलता होगा. मैं आपको याद दिलाऊं कि इस्लाम में कहीं पे भी वायलेंस की कोई जगह नहीं है. आपका जो धर्म है वो हिंदुस्तान से बंधा हुआ है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से बंधा हुआ है.
You are wrong.
Let me complete. Then I'll make a meaning.
I just want to request everybody to stick to the issue. We are talking about Mr. Vaidik. We are not talking about Kashmir. We are not talking about Islam. We are not talking about anything else. I would just request everybody to make their final statements on Mr. Vaidik, and then we'll conclude this discussion.
Anybody who wants to talk about things which are within the framework of the constitution of this country are most welcome. But somebody who wants to talk about separatist movement, secession in any form, most peaceful, most soft, is not been called for, and we will protest against that.
That's not
Let it be clear that the Constitution of India does not permit that, and we will not tolerate that. And people like Yasin Malik has to be condemned to be the fullest. And we don't cow down in front of these people.
At the same time, we can talk to Yasin Malik if he wants to be in the mainstream. If he is for the development of Kashmir, we are ready to talk. No problem. Most welcome. But if he talks secession,
he will be the first
get
person
ready
to talk to Yasin Malik the moment he says that the Constitution of India is the framework which he wants to talk to us.
All right. But I want to stick to Mr. Vaidik and Mr. Yasin Malik. I request you make a final statement about Mr. Vaidik and this entire issue before we conclude this discussion. Mr. Malik, can you hear us? Yeah. So your final statements are, as far as this entire issue is concerned, I think we have to agree to disagree on this one.
Pardon?
I'm saying, as far as your other panelists are concerned, they're certainly disagreeing with what you have to say. So I'll allow you to make a final statement before we close this discussion.
My question is very simple. I know they will disagree me because they are fascist. When they met Hizbul Mujahideen, did they say we have given up our stand on Kashmir, that we do not want separation of Kashmir from India when they met Hizbul Mujahideen? So they still met them. When they met APIC, did APIC said that we have given up the stand which we used to have on Kashmir, that Kashmir is not a part of India, but BJP met them. So what they are saying right now, it is all hypocrisy and lies. Now tell me, Hizbul Mujahideen is still operating. They are still active in the militant front, but they made them. So what they are saying right now?
No,
Is it not a true that Hizbul Mujahideen right now active militant organization, but they still made them? So what they are saying, do you think there is any connection with it with the truth? What they are saying it?
All right, I think on this show, we'll have to wrap it up over here. Mr. Yasin Malik, I'd like to thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Shivraj Singh also. We'll just agree to disagree on this one as far as this entire issue of Mr. Vaidik is concerned. But my heart goes out to Mr. Vaidik and Shahnawaz. Any final word from you? Because you've really faced the worst of such an incident.
Well, as a journalist, as a peace activist, मैं चाहूँगा कि जब भी इस तरीके की बात हो तो सभी कम्युनिटी के लोगों को साथ में लेकर के गवर्नमेंट को डायलॉग शुरू करना चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर पाकिस्तान से कोई इशू है, कोई टासल है, तो सिर्फ वो बीजेपी ही बातचीत करेगी और उसका क्रेडिट ले जाएगी, उन्हीं का आदमी। मैं भी बात कर सकता हूँ पीस की और मैं भी आगे बढ़ सकता हूँ, लेकिन मुझे रोका जाता है और वेद प्रताप वैदिक को अलाउ किया जाता है। तो इस तरीके की पॉलिटिक्स बंद होनी चाहिए।
All right, so whether Mr. Vaidik was allowed or not, or whether you were stopped, is another matter of which I think both Mr. Shivraj Singh and Vineet would disagree on. Sanjeev, any final word from you? As far as journalism is concerned, that has also been brought in over here. So as a journalist, do you think that this kind of track to diplomacy is something that we would see more often in the future, or do you think that this issue has left such a bad taste that we're going to see closure of any kind of such incidences?
See, if it was tracked to diplomacy, the government should be open about it and say, yes, it was. But what you're seeing is a very ambivalent attitude, approach of the government on this issue. They're saying that he went to the journalist, but they're not actually giving what their exact stand is on this issue, whether they condemn it or whether they welcome it. It's a win-win situation for the government. They can use people like Mr. Vaidik and call it track to diplomacy if it works. If it doesn't work, you can simply say he was a journalist and has nothing to do with the government and wash their hands off it.
All right, on that note, we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much, Mr. Shivraj Singh, for coming. It was a pleasure having you, Shahnawaz. Mr. Yasin Malik, thanks very much for coming in all the way from Kashmir and sharing your points of view. Vineet, as always, it's a pleasure to have you on this show. And Sanjeev, thanks very much for coming in.
Let me tell you, wrap it up with this. We do not need Vaidiks to solve or to settle people like Hafiz Saeed or Yasin Malik. We have strong hands. We'll settle them. Don't worry. We don't need Vaidiks. We have enough power to settle them. We'll settle them this time.
All right. So whether a strong hand is required or healing touch is required, that is up to you,
healing,
the viewer, or the democracy, or the citizens to decide.
Only
so write
fire.
into us whether fire or water is needed to douse the fire. Let's talk about it. Write into us, tweet out to us, hashtag India Post Live, India Post Live, hashtag India Post Live, or use our Twitter handle at India Post Live. And do get in touch with us, and we'll for sure express or air your views. Thanks so much for joining in.